Hey guys, welcome back to Aviary Attorney. Seems we are on our way to our first trial here. Falcon and Sparrowson stand inside the marble portico of the Palais de Justice, awaiting the opening of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you nervous, Falcon? Nah. I should still have my Ace Attorney and Danganronpa chops. This shouldn't be too bad. Nope, we've got this case in the bag. Look at my feathers, see? Totally unruffled. Wow, well, at least one of us is feeling confident. Monsieur Falcon, Petite Sparrowson. Is there anything you need me to do? No, we've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling me how confident he was feeling about the case. That's wonderful. I just know you two will pull through. Let's move it along, fellas. I'll be watching from inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon. We will. Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. Alright, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Is everyone here? J.J. Falcon present. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Before we... I do want to take a look through the evidence before we get this started. as I usually do. Signor Pertwer Damiao has requested legal aid for his daughter Caroline. She's being held at the concierge. Camera. Photographer named Robitio attended the banquet. This is a red herring. Dame Caroline ate a bloody rare steak at the banquet. Colleen, the housemaid of Chateau Criniere, has confessed to stealing silverware from the household. The clock in Baron Roguio's lounge has no hands. A cigar was found at the bottom of the fountain in Roguio's garden. It can only be reached with a little waiting. Was there nothing else? Rupert Rabington present. The readiest prosecution, Your Honor. Oh darn, that's not it. Oh gosh, where are my notes? Ha! I knew it. Knew what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all my classes. Oh, was he smart? Pfft, no. He always scored the worst marks in the class. I can only assume that he bumbled through the final exams on the luck of his two rabbit's feet. Unless he's improved considerably, you might already have this trial in the bag. That's good to know. But say, Sparrowson, if Rupert scored the second lowest marks in the class, then who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right to not self-incriminate. Here it is. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Are the jury all present? Oh, there is actually a jury this time, rather than the judge. Than like one judge making the decision. All present accounted for, Your Honor. Hey Falcon, I thought there were only 6 members of the jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh, those 2 birds with the funny hats are assessors, the associate judges. Everything seems to be in order, so let us begin. The court is now in session for the trial of Dame Caroline Damiao. Prosecution, please call your first witness to the stand. Oh gosh, are we there already? Okay. I choose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Valerdi, to the witness stand. Inspector Valerdi, please approach the stand and recite the oath. As you will, Your Honor. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But, sir, no, Inspector, please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Inspector Juste Valerti. I'm a servant of the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I have enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring the infamous Viridian Killer to justice. My path begins 18 years ago. Let's stick to the questions, Inspector. Of course, Your Honor. Oh, great. I was hoping we could have one of those bumbling, cuddly officers, but instead we're stuck with lawful goody two-shoes. I bet this guy would turn in his own mother if he saw her littering. So, Inspector, is it true you're the lead investigator on this case? That is correct. I was also among the first to arrive at the scene of the crime. Then perhaps you could walk us through what you witnessed upon your arrival? Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron Rorgriel. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Caroline Damiao. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Grenway with his blood on her paws. Well, that sounds like an open and shut case in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honor. Bloody paws? Nobody told me that detail. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to be given the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. That's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course, I know this. You may begin your cross-examination, Monsieur Falcon. Here we go. Cross-examine the witness to find flaws in his testimony. Select a key phrase you find suspicious, and Falcon will press the witness for information. Ask the right questions to bring the truth to light. Avoid pressing for pointless details. The judge and jury don't like having their time wasted. Let's see. Alerted the crime. Okay, this is the big one I want to question on. Did she have blood on her paws? Inspector, you say Dame Caroline had blood on her paws. Correct. Blood clung to her fur like guilt to a convict. Whose blood was it? Ha! What a question! It was Monsieur Grenway's, of course. How can you be so sure? I object. This line of questioning's absurd. There's only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Caroline's paws could have only belonged to one person, Monsieur Grenway. Judge, Falcon's trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions. I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Monsieur Falcon. Do you have any reason to suspect that the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Grenway? Yep. I do, Your Honor. Actually, I have more than suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Caroline's paws had nothing to do with the murder. This is foolish time-wasting, Falcon. If the blood on Dame Caroline's paws didn't come from the victim, where'd the blood come from? The steak. On the evening of the murder, Dame Caroline ate a bloody rare steak. Is this true, Master Rabbington? Well, in a matter of speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu. Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility that the blood on the lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but to the steak? Well, wait, don't answer that, Inspector. It's a possibility. Yo! Gained a little favor. Nice. So, Inspector Valerti, is it possible that you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater? Now just hold on just 1 minute, Falcon. You're overlooking something quite crucial. Dame Caroline is an elegant bourgeois kitten. She was no doubt brought up with a flawless etiquette and perfect table manners. At the banquet, she would have eaten the steak with a fork in her left hand and a knife in her right, like any proper civilized animal. How could she have possibly gotten blood on her paws with such good manners? Oh, that is a good question, or at least it would be at any ordinary dinner banquet. But as it happens, something was missing from that particular banquet. Something that forced Dame Caroline to eat with her paws. Yes. The missing silverware. Dame Caroline was forced to eat steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had been previously stolen. Stolen? I don't recall any mention of that in the police report. We weren't aware of anything missing from the Rorgriel residence when we performed the initial investigation. But as it happened, Baron Rorgriel approached us about this very subject last night. What a twist. What is the meaning of all this? Bloody steak, misplaced silverware. Inspector, was your investigation so lax that you overlooked these basic facts in your initial report? Lax? My investigation? Judge, I assure you, I am the most thorough investigative officer on the force. Then it is amazing that the Parisian police managed to solve any crimes at all. Oh dear. Be on your way, Inspector. Perhaps do a little inspecting for your next case. Fine, so be it, messieurs. Until next time. Owned. Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready? Yes, of course, Your Honor. I call upon let's see, Monsieur Robitio Robinho, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder. Monsieur Robitio Robinho, please approach the stand and recite the oath. How does it go? I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It's a little cliché, to be perfectly honest. Could the witness please introduce himself for the court record? As if anybody in this courtroom does not immediately recognize me. I am the great Monsieur Robitio Robinho, cutting-edge photographer and visionary. I just don't take people's pictures, I capture the very essence. Je suis l'artiste. Tu es une pipe. You may have seen my works in hit magazines La Branche or C'est Chouette. I can send you tweets if you like. Haha, tweets, I get it. What on earth is a tweet? Bird-to-bird communication. Come on, Falcon, it's the 19th century. Get with the times already. Yes, your works are very impressive, Monsieur Robinho, but let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities on the night of the murder? That'd be well. I was hired by Baron Rorgriel to capture the evening's events. I arrived at 7 in the evening. I pointed my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastic photograph. Then I billed Baron Rorgriel and left. Like a true artist. And with regards to the photograph itself, who did you photograph? I thought you might ask. I brought a copy so you could all see for yourselves. Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look. My word, this is quite an exquisite picture, isn't it? So let's see, who do we have here? Caroline isn't in the photo at this point, but she was when we saw it back at his place. In the middle we see Baron Rorgriel, the lion who hosted the event. On the left we see Signor Pertur de Miao, the father of the defendant, Dame Caroline. And finally we see the housemaid, Colleen Duhat, who I suspect may have stuck into the picture uninvited. As you can see, two people are clearly absent from the photograph. The first is the victim, Monsieur Gwenway. The second is the defendant, Dame Caroline de Miao. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree? Just a moment, Monsieur Ravington. This proves nothing. So the defendant and the victim were not photographed with the others. That doesn't mean that they were in the garden together at that point. Hold your horses, Falcon. I'm not done yet. The prosecution may continue. Behind the photograph subjects, we see a wall clock with the time set at 7:30. Now, why is that time significant? Well, as Inspector Valerdi told us earlier, that was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the time of the murder, save for Dame Caroline herself. Falcon, something is fishy. Yep, I know exactly what it is. In the jail cell, Dame Caroline told us she was present when the photograph took place, but I don't see her in Robinho's photograph. That's true, but I can't use Dame Caroline's testimony as evidence. It has too little weight. If I want to prove that Monsieur Robinho's photograph is not a valid piece of evidence, I will have to dish out evidence of my own. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Very well, the defense may proceed. It's a waste of time if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence. We'll see about that. And it's 7 p.m. Let's take a closer look at this photograph. Just to clarify, Monsieur Robinho, the photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not? That is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies. That is most curious, because I see a mistake. A mistake? Impossible, I just told you, Monsieur. The camera's a perfect, unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless. Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific? Certainly. The area, I believe, contains a mistake. The clock face. It shouldn't have hands on it. The clock in this photograph. There's something not right about it. Well, isn't that convenient? The defense sees something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client. Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Ravington. I have evidence that there is something wrong with the clock in that picture. Right. The photograph clearly shows the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6. That much is self-evident. Which is most curious, because the clock in the lounge of Chateau Crenier has no hands. It has no hands? The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Rorgriel or his housemaid if you have doubts. Monsieur Robinho, how do you explain this discrepancy? I don't know. There must be some sort of mistake. My camera's flawless. There is no mistake, Monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that does not exist in the real world. Maybe there was an error in the printing process. An error precisely where the clock's hand should be. Please, Monsieur, don't patronize us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, Monsieur Robinho, edited this photograph. Edited? I'm no expert, but I suspect you used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task, considering the clock face was bare. One could even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handless clock in the photograph just to simplify the editing process. Not looking good for you. Falcon, your reasoning is absurd. Why would the witness do such a thing? Yes, let's ask him more about why. Is it not obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken place at precisely 7:30, it clears all the photograph subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Robinho created a perfect alibi. Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting? And why? Was Monsieur Robinho coerced, bribed, threatened? Enough silence. Let's hear some answers, Monsieur Robinho. Fine, you got me. I'm guilty. I did it all. Oh. That was easy. A little too easy. You did it. You're confessing to the murder of Monsieur Grenouille. What? No. I have no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting I'm guilty of producing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs. And yes, that included adding hands to the clock. You were ordered by whom? I dare not say. Monsieur Robinho, I strongly advise you to answer the defense's question. You have pledged to speak without fear, after all. With respect, Judge, I fear his claws more than I fear the punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names. His claws? Did you hear that, Falcon? Yes. That is most unfortunate. Monsieur Robinho, we cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We don't live under the ancient regime, after all. But since you've admitted to falsifying evidence, that we cannot keep you on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course. I cannot protest. That's the least I deserve for my failure as an artiste. Good day, messieurs. Gain more favor. Good. So, the clock's hands were painted on. So what? It doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Caterline as absent close to the time of the murder. That's significant. Don't be dense, Monsieur Ravington. If the photograph is not completely genuine, then it cannot be considered reliable evidence. Why not? It's still a portrayal of the night's events. Because if we accept that one part of the picture was edited, then we must accept the possibility that other parts were too. It is possible that Dame Caterline was painted out. Even worse, it is possible that another person was painted in. Yes, and I do remember it. We know that the witness was trying to cover for someone, so all possibilities must be accounted for. So what are you saying, Falcon? The housemaid paid off the photographer? Or was it Signor Pertour de Miao, perhaps? I don't think so. The housemaid lacks a means or motive, and it wouldn't make sense for Signor Pertour to implicate his own daughter. Well, surely you're not suggesting the honest and beloved Baron Rorgwheel deliberately tried to frame Dame Caterline? Because that would be the most outlandish theory yet. The Baron's a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing. Monsieur Ravington, I'm not here to throw accusations. That's the job of you, the prosecutor. However, perhaps I should offer my opinion. Baron, it's not time for your witness testimony yet. So you would think, prosecutor, and yet I see my good reputation getting tarnished by your incompetence. Incompetence? Indeed. Let us proceed with witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge? Yes, I suppose that's fine. Very good. And I trust that the defense has no objections. No objections here. Fantastic. Oh, but before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me about what I witnessed over the course of the evening. Okay, Baron Rortreal. On the night of the initial dinner went magnificently. When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Grenouille left to visit the garden. Dame Caterline followed behind him moments later. Signor Pertuis, Monsieur Robinho, and myself were engaged in conversation, so he paid her no mind. After the photographer had left, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Grenway and Dame Caterline. That would be when I heard her cry for help. Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from there. I would like to cross-examine the witness. Do you doubt my integrity, garçon? I'm just here to uncover the truth, Baron. Very well then, hit me with your best shot. Let us establish with absolute certainty that I, Baron Rorgriel, am an honest man. Defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Monsieur Grenway. Housemaid discovered. With the exception of the, of course, red herring, the only real piece of evidence I'm seeing was the cigar in the garden, but it's not really all that damning. Question him on this. Baron, we saw the murder scene, your garden, for ourselves. Ah. Baron Rorgriel, when was the last time you ventured into your own garden? As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years. Ah. Gotcha, bitch. Years, you say? Indeed. Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny. Oh? And why is that? Because we have hard evidence that you visited the garden recently. Balderdash, my word is gold. Show the court this so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden. Found your cigar. This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin. Right beside where the murder occurred. Cigar butt? That could belong to anybody, and... Prosecutor, please shut your mouth. I can speak for myself. Okay, sorry, Baron. That is indeed the remnants of one of my cigars, but I must apologize, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years. But naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was shocked and disgusted by what I saw. That must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar in the fountain basin. You see, Falcon, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation. I would find that believable if the cigar were casually discarded. But as it happened, the cigar butt was found in the fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience. And a little padding. The cigar butt was not dropped, it was deliberately hidden. There are any number of possible explanations. Are there? Because I can only think of one. That is that you, Baron Rorgriel, deliberately hid your cigar butt to disguise your own illicit activities. Did I now? What illicit activities would those be? You want me to spell it out? Fine, let's put everything on the table. You, Baron Rorgriel, murdered Monsieur Grenway. That is what you're trying to keep hidden. Directly accusing me of murder? How shamelessly brazen. That is a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. The Baron is an upstanding citizen of the highest order. Your allegation is baseless. You have no evidence. No, means, motive, or opportunity. No evidence. Think harder, Monsieur Ravington. Every piece of evidence points to Baron Rorgriel as the prime suspect. You want the means? The Baron certainly had the means. His lion claws are as sharp as a surgeon's blade. Gunning a frog belly would be trivial to him. Even Monsieur Rubinho confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws. Ridiculous! I would never threaten a man with violence. You want a motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business partner, the Baron's share of his railway company increased from 1/3 to 1/2. That is preposterous! And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very select number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, and yet he served steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of his guests, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a very specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. Photographing the guests in front of a handless clock to make for easy editing is quite an ingenious plan, it must be said. Prosecutor, are you just going to let this slanderous yarn go uncontested? Say something. Object! Oh, you're pitifully useless. After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminatory evidence, his finished cigar. He knew leaving at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it. So out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain, out of the sight of his guests and any snooping police. I imagine the Baron was hoping to implicate Signor Pertuis Damiao, since that would ensure total control over his railway company. Alas, Dame Caterline was the first to happen upon the crime scene, so the Baron improvised. This is an outrage. Judge, I demand you disbar this ranting lunatic. No, there's only one outrage here. That is, a man like yourself was able to abuse his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You're a bourgeois of the worst kind. How dare you, Garçon, the utter nerve for a lying scumbag of a lawyer to accuse a philanthropist like myself of something so heinous. I am nothing like that fat cat bourgeoisie. I am a respectable, hard-working capitalist. No, you are a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs. You incredulous whelp. I'd ought to gut you right here and now like a damned frog. Could someone please restrain the Baron? I'm on it, Your Honor. Let's go, old man. The concierge with you. Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw. I can walk myself. This is quite a turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add? Well, in a matter of speaking, well, to be honest, no. Then I shall now confer with the members of the jury to come to a decision. I ask the animals of the court, please be patient at this time. Balkan, that was pretty incredible. Thank you. I just hope it's enough. What do you mean? You just proved Cataline's innocence. We'll get a non-guilty verdict for sure. Sparrowson, I think you've misunderstood something important about the justice system. What's that? I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. It's just not possible. All we can do is organize the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. I haven't proved Dame Cataline's innocence. All I've done is demonstrate there's a significant possibility that she is not guilty. Not sure I understand the difference. We have reached a decision. In light of the recent revelations, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Caroline Damiao, to be not guilty. Yay. No confetti or anything? Okay. Monsieur Falcon, Petite Sparrowson, you did it. Yeah, I suppose we did, didn't we? We should head back to the office so we can celebrate properly. You did it, Falcon. I can't take all the credit. This was a group achievement. I'm so proud of you both. I'll go get 1 bottle of wine and 3 of our least dirty glasses. You were amazing, Monsieur Falcon. Oh, it was nothing. I very much liked the way you pinned the murder on the Baron. That was an act of sheer genius. Well, I didn't pin anything. Sparrowson and I just worked at unveiling the truth, given the facts of the case. Monsieur Falcon, there's no need to play coy. The case is over. Play coy? Don't tell me you're actually being sincere. I'm completely lost. Oh wow, I thought the goody-goody thing was an act, but you actually don't know. Alright, I'll spell it out for you. Are you gonna say you actually did it? I saw him in the garden, all drunk and vulnerable, and seized my opportunity. It was nothing personal, just business, you understand. Business? To increase my papa's share in the train company, of course. My papa always said that the drunk old frog was the weakest link. Your confession doesn't make any sense at all. I found Baron Rordrill's cigar butt hid in the garden. Oh, but I put that there. I expected the police to find it, but I suppose that was putting too much faith in the brains of Paris's finest. But Falcon proved that Monsieur Robinho's photograph was edited. It was edited. I wasn't in the picture because I was busy paying a visit to Monsieur Grenway in the garden. My papa knew I needed an alibi, so he ordered Monsieur Robinho to paint me over Baron Rordrill and to add hands to the clock. But that lazy artist didn't manage to finish altering the photograph by trial day. It's a good thing that Monsieur Falcon was so imaginative, because that could have gone very badly. Well, shit. What's with the silence? You should both be proud. There aren't many lawyers in the whole of France who could have won a case like this, even for a bourgeoisie kitty like me. I think you should leave. Fine. So much for the celebrations. Here's the payment for your services, straight from my papa's pockets. Adieu, Monsieur Falcon. Adieu, Petite Sparrowson. Falcon, what do we do now? Falcon? Oh boy. Well, that was quite the, what are we looking for? Deviation, maybe? Not quite what we were expecting, considering some of these others I played. But this is a good cutoff point, so I'll see you guys next time.
I'm playing a game.